Hey guys, Assassin Glasgow here. And this is gonna be a little random, actually. It's something I've always wanted to try, but I've never actually done it until now because I'm sick. I'm a little sick. I have a sore throat. And, thought it was a good idea. I guess I could blame my cold medicine for that. But it's gonna be story time with Glasgow. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about things that have happened in my life. Or, things that I just randomly want to talk about. Actually, I was reading an Ask Reddit thread today, talking about bullying, like what made you a target for bullying, and what, how did you overcome it? And it got me thinking about my own experiences. While I was not necessarily bullied heavily or anything like that, I know a lot of people have suffered a lot through bullying, and it's really unfortunate. I was just thinking about how like my own experiences going dealing with that, and actually just being mean in general. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I was a mean child, and by mean child I mean I was a mean 5-year old. The last time I said anything super mean to anybody to their face was when I was 5. I was in kindergarten, and at the time Power Rangers were all the rage. I was the Yellow Ranger. I had a friend. He was the Pink Ranger, and then I think there was another person that was the Blue Ranger. I don't remember who that person was. So we would play around on the playground in our tiny kindergarten playground because it's separated from the playground the bigger kids would use in the school. And so we just playing around. I remember one day we were playing Power Rangers and doing all the fancy moves and transforming and powering up, and there's this girl. She was black and a little bit on the heavier side as a child, and she wanted to be, I can't remember which ranger she wanted to be, but she definitely asked to play with us. And I remember I I was a little shit of a child. I was like, no, you're too fat to play with us, which is horrible. It's a horrible thing to say. But as a kid, I didn't understand, and my parents never really, taught me to accept other kids that look different. I was trying to go by the TV show standards because all the actors in the TV show were slim and fit and could do martial arts and stuff like that. And I mean, I wasn't a super skinny child, but then I also, in my mind, didn't think that I was overweight either. And I remember that doing that, she just burst down crying, and she went and told my teacher, and my teacher pulled me aside and gave me a lecture, told me I couldn't do that. I could not exclude people from playing with me just because they looked different. I was basically being discriminating. I had never had a talk like that before. My parents never showed me about it. They never told me about it. It was something I had to learn at school, and I'm actually really thankful I learned it at school. But at the time, being a 5-year old, I did not understand what the fuck was going on, and I I was just getting scolded. If anything, my parents taught me don't piss off your teachers and don't piss off people older than you. And since my teacher was scolding me, I thought, oh my god, I made her angry. I pissed her off, and I burst into tears. I literally wept. And I stopped playing at recess. I went inside the classroom. I sat in the teacher's chair and I wept. And then the bell rang. All the kids came in, and I hadn't gone to the bathroom to wash the tears off my face. I remember one of the kids pointing at me and saying, "Look, she's the teacher now." Just kind of innocent kid stuff. But as a child, that added more salt to the wound. After having been scolded by the teacher, I was now being made fun of because I was sitting in the teacher's chair crying because I didn't know where else to cry. And I that moment, I think having that happen to me fundamentally changed me in the sense that I just avoided being mean to people. I never went out to attack other people for being different. So I think it was a good learning experience. But as a child, it was really traumatizing. But sometimes you have to learn things the hard way in order to become a better person, if that makes any sense. So it was a great experience in retrospect because I'm not a mean person now. If that hadn't happened, I could have easily become a mean person because what I said was, sure, I said it out of childhood innocence because I didn't understand, but childhood innocence could have easily turned into malicious ignorance. And it was good that my teacher had the sense to pull me aside after I was told on basically to tell me I was being a stupid kid and scold me on that. Which kind of leads me into my next story in terms of bullying. As I mentioned before, I was bullied pretty briefly. Um, it was in high school. For the most part, people didn't try bullying me or anything like that. Um, if anything happened, it was mostly probably behind my back because I had a friend who people have said like mean things about. And usually, when you are kind of like academically excelling and you're placed in, for example, advanced placement classes, AP classes, the bullying usually happens in those classes from people who don't like the fact that maybe you score higher or something like that. They'll say stuff behind your back. Um, and I don't know if that happened to me. Maybe, but I never really heard about it in my time in high school. But anyways, in freshman year, when you're a freshman, you're entering high school, and at that time, I didn't dress the same way. I was very tomboyish, I guess you can say. Didn't really wear makeup. I wore my hair long, not in any style, just long. Wore a sweatshirt to school. If it wasn't hot, wore jeans. Very tomboyish, and for the most part, nobody bothered me. And I guess it's because I had a really strong friend group. But I remember that one day in my Spanish class, we had a substitute teacher because my regular Spanish teacher was out for the day, and I was sitting next to this girl. I forgot her name. I'm gonna call her Catalina because she mentioned something about her name starting with C, and at the time I wore a sweatshirt that said Catalina. Anyways, so her friend was sitting next to me because it was random seating placements. And with the substitute teacher there, she didn't really care where we sat. So my bully came over and sat down in front of me. And I'm just trying to pay attention to an episode of Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern, trying to see what they serve in Spain and getting a sense of the culture because I was a big fan of things like that. And I don't know what it is, maybe my resting serious expression that I apparently have, or the fact that I didn't dress fashionably, didn't wear makeup, my sweatshirt, for whatever factors, the fact maybe I was nerdy, I don't know, whatever factors there were, she decided to pick on me just right then and there and started bugging me and doing things like I had to write on a piece of paper. I was trying to pull the paper away from me, trying to get me to talk. I'm just trying to pay attention, so I'm just kind of hoping that she would shut the fuck up, but she never did. And this would go on, and it when the teacher was there, it was fine. When the substitutes were there, she would just move back to the same spot, try to sit near me, try to get my attention, try to bother me, try to call me things. It was really, really bad. And she also shared a PE class with me. And I'm just trying to play the sports. She would come up, say these things. I remember I was talking to one of my guy friends, and she was like, "Oh, are you dating? Do you have his number?" Little stupid things like that. and it persisted. I don't know for how many weeks. I remember also one time that I drove up. My dad drove me up to the front of the school, and she was there with another friend. They were just kind of like sitting at the fire hydrant, talking. I opened the door to get out. They looked to me. They started saying stuff and laughing and like kind of sneering in my general direction. I remember my dad gave them a look. You know, the look that dads give when they're very protective of their children. The I'm going to murder you, not literally, but I'm going to cause hellfire to rain down on you. And the girls kind of backed off when that happened. So my walk into the school was okay. They didn't say shit to me at that time. I remember it got to the point where I was so fed up at her always picking on me that I went up to my Spanish teacher and I told him, and I was like, this is bad. She keeps going to where my desk is. She keeps taking my eraser. She keeps taking my pencil. She keeps doing shit. She keeps trying to grab my hair. All these things. And this he tried. The Spanish teacher tried. He told her to knock it off. He moved her to a different place. But it wasn't enough. I remember there was a time where she moved right in front of me and she started doing the same thing, and he just kind of didn't pay attention to it. And that made me so sick of things. And there was also a time where she tried to grab one of my papers out from me. I was just so fed up at that point, I slammed my hand on the desk, which startled her, and she backed off for a little bit. And eventually, I don't remember how this resolved itself, but I never physically attacked her or anything like that. I kind of did the waiting game and sort of waited her out, and eventually we went on to the next grade, and I got into higher academic classes, and I never really saw her again. I believe the last thing I heard about her, last thing I heard about Catalina was that she got expelled from the school. I don't know for what, but she got expelled. You know, I know there are a lot of people who are like, I hope that she stopped being a little fucking asshole um, to people. But then I would be lying if did if I didn't say there was a little bit inside of me that was like, I wish that she did not excel in life. And you know, that's a really mean thing to say, but it was really bad for that period of time, for the months that happened. But that was mostly the only bullying incident I have, and I honestly don't know what made me a target, and I think that's the same for a lot of people who get bullied. Sometimes the things that make you a target is just like, why would that make you a target? And reading that Ask Reddit thread and seeing all the reasons why people were targeted, it's just like people can be assholes just for the stupidest reasons. They can target you because you're tall, because you're short, because you look different, you dress different, all that stuff. And having to deal with bullies is awful. And I wish people didn't act like that. But I don't know, maybe they need to have more incidents like I did when I was 5. Because that incident made it so that I was basically the nicest person growing up. And even to now, I don't like dealing with things. Um, I don't like picking on other people. I don't like saying mean things about other people. And I definitely don't really like fighting. I mean, if you have to, you have to. But like, I didn't really want to physically fight my bully, even though that probably would have got her off my back. I don't think she was the type of person that would have really continued after a fight. She wasn't a very she was a little bigger than me, both height wise and width wise, stockier, but she wasn't, I think her personality wasn't the type of person that would pursue bullying if the person she was bullying bared their fangs. The thing is, because of what happened when I was 5, I didn't want to deal with it like that, so I just waited it out. Whether or not that was the best course of action, I guess it was in the end, because she eventually got expelled. But if she hadn't, I don't know if that was the best course of action or not. Anyways, I just wanted to share this because I just felt like talking about it and rambling and just kind of telling you guys about stuff that had happened in terms of my life. And if you guys want to hear any more about random things, like it can be about any topic, I guess. If you ask a question, I'll try to see if I can find remember or find a scenario in my head where that happened. Like, oh, did you have any pets? Tell your story about your pets, that kind of stuff. I just wanted to make this and talk a little bit by myself and just to let people. I know this is a more serious topic. It's not really a comedic topic for the first story time with Glasgow, but you know, just to let people know that you if you're getting bullied, it's hard, and I wish that it didn't happen, and I'm I hope that things get better, and I know how it feels, and I hope that people that kids growing up nowadays they experience something similar to me, where their ignorance is nipped in the bud before it has a chance to grow up into something that could be really 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 hurtful. And I don't remember the name of the girl that I said those mean things to, but I do hope that she grew up and she's okay now, because um, it's yeah, and it's really bad. Um, I mean, in retrospect, I regret saying it, but then, you know, you have to learn sometime. Anyways, just wanted to share this with you guys, and um, if you enjoy hearing more about stuff like this, just let me know. I guess ask a question in the comments and I'll make more story times. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Thanks for listening, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye!